You take lead.
Not bad, Marius.
Andra's titties, you found it! I tried using magic to get the vase down, but alas. Thankfully you and your little friends came along and saved the day.
Excuse me. We're all bigger than you are, Nimdude.
I may be small, but my magic is not, I assure you. Oh, trust me, my love Quilichi has told me so many times, but I cannot resist. How could I ignore a vase like this? Think of all the secrets and memories it holds. Just one, and I didn't find it. But that's a story for another time. But I'd best pack up. I want to get home. I've a new artifact to study. Thank you for your help, Godlike. Even if you didn't have a ladder.
Well, that's something I hope never happens again.
I've got a few inches to spare if she changes her mind.
Darling, you are aware I can see you digging through my things, aren't you?
That's all of them. Ready, aim.
You showed up at a bad time. Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giata's about to tear that poor man a new one. Well, I hope you have a stomach for profanity.
Huh. A woman shouting profanity at leadership? Reminds me of home.
She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancer's fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giata's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. Look around. The town's overgrown, the crops are dying. What's not to fight about?
Just take a blessed day look outside. doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when animancers fight.
The Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. Captain Alfair of the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Aedyran interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
And all godlike. I've heard whispers that one of your kind was here in the Living Lands. It is a pleasure to meet you. In case it wasn't clear, I'm the point of contact for anyone with bounties to turn in. So return to me if you have any to claim. Officially, I'm one of the many researchers here. My specialty is in the anatomy of the many species of Eora. If you must know, Vulpinet, these bounties are more pressing than my research. Someone had to be chosen to man the board. That person happens to be me. At least some of these bounties result in interesting specimens to study. Aurat Augori. I hope to see you soon. Be careful with old Nuna. I have a theory that her longevity and hardiness are due to an inordinate suffusion of essence. Ah, those Delamgan. They are not evil, it is just in their nature to push back against the expansion of civilization. Still, survival of the fittest and all that, ne? Oh, the Trentons. Bunch of butzos, if you ask me. But they are dangerous, I'll admit. Watch yourself out there. Oh, those poor souls. Please bring them peace, Sainiko. Becoming part of a blight is not a fate I would wish upon my worst enemy.
There. That's Tama's old house. Wonder what he wanted me to find. The place feels different without him. He left something behind for me. Help me look around. So much here reminds me of Tama. It's strange to be back without him. I still can't imagine what he wanted me to find. Say, what's that you're holding? Yeah, it is. Damn you, Tama. Damn you. I carved this for him years ago. I had no idea he'd kept it, let alone. And he tells me like this, when he's long gone, leaving me with nothing but A piece of driftwood I gave him years ago. The man kept a journal of poetry. He never had a problem with words. And we knew each other for years. We were close. I trusted him with things in my past. Things I don't talk about. Sometimes I wish you weren't so damn perceptive. Did I tell him? I was a mess when we met. I'd been through the battles in Deadfire and a handful of mercenary campaigns since. I was a chewed-up piece of flotsam drifting to the living lands. Oh, I don't blame him. Tom always saw right through me. He knew what I was. A coward who failed him. I let him down. He was always there when I needed him. But when he needed me, I can't ask him now, can I? I'm sorry. I don't mean to take this out on you. You wouldn't say that if you knew. Never mind. I haven't talked about this in a while, so thanks for listening. It means a lot. Especially since you seem to have your head on straight. Let's keep moving. A little fresh air will clear my head.
I'm sick! I'm sick!
Who's there?
Right behind you.
And here we go.
What's the total?
some help in here. Many thanks, my friends. Much as I hate to say it, there's no way I could have fought past those bastards on my own. Name's Verano. I'd love to stay and give proper thanks, but Ranger Aedyr needs my report. No idea. Maybe ransom or leverage over the Rangers. I'm not sure what they'd hope to get for an old man like me. I came here with Ranger Casagrada to scout this area out. We got a tip that a force of bandits was gathering at this old homestead. One of us must have stepped on a twig because they spotted us right away. When I squared off, Casagrada ran the other way. Said he was going to grab Dorso for backup. After Casagrada left, several more bandits joined the fight. They overwhelmed me and took me hostage. I overheard them talking about meeting someone next to a root-strangled tree with a view of the town. They seemed to think their contact was one of the Rangers. But that would make that Ranger a traitor. Oh, I seriously doubt it. Casagrada is a bright enough kid, but he doesn't have the capacity to conspire. I'd bet my life that Casagrada isn't a traitor. Just a coward. See, that's the damnedest thing. I don't know. The bandits have it worse than we do. That's why they are bandits. So they have nothing to offer. With the way trade has dried up, there is no one else here. No Thirdborners, no Paradisans, and certainly no Wardens from Solace. There is just monsters. And you. Then I guess I'll just have to take you at your word. Well, I should start hobbling back. Thanks again for looking out. I owe you one, and Casagrada owes us both. If you're in the area, go see Captain Aedyr at the watchtower. She'll be glad to see you.
I'm not sure what to make of this, but I don't like it.
Envoy.
Good. You finally showed up. I was worried you weren't coming. The name's Keeledge. Pleasure to meet you. Hilgard sent me to Emerald Stair to keep an eye on this place. I had orders to make contact as soon as you arrived. I won't talk long. He only wants me to let you know I'm here. If you need to get word to the ambassador, I'm your man. No. They're fine. It's Ludwig's nightmare squad I'm worried about. I don't want to draw their attention. I think they're up to something. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think the scale of their operation is dangerous. All right. I suppose I can do that. Exactly how far do you want me to go with this? Understood. Until later, envoy.
Oh, hey there. Something on your mind? It just took me back. Something about her reminded me of old times. War stories. And I've seen shades of that before. The meek trooper who develops a taste for killing. Now, the part that stuck with me was what she said about watching her partner turn. Seeing someone you know, someone close to you, beyond help like that. I just want to know, you were careful when you told her about Aedyr. Why? It probably was. Some part of her seemed to know. And even in the state she was in, she handled it. Better than most. Sorry. I need a moment to clear my head.
That tower is for Fjord's Rangers. It's where they stand around and argue about the best route to Shatterscarp.
Listen, we'll get to the bottom of this. Not sure how, but we'll get there. I agree that this is important, Masoni, but if we don't focus on hunting, people will starve.
How is a potential murderer in our ranks not your top priority? You don't think it's real, is that it? You think I'm jumping at shadows?
One moment, please, Envoy. We were just finishing.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not saying it's impossible, Masoni. Only that more immediate dangers require our attention. We'll talk about it later.
Meanwhile, someone's tearing us apart from the inside.
Gods beyond. I owe you a debt of gratitude, Envoy. I can't thank you enough for what you've done. I am shocked to hear Verano was captured, but it's better than dead. Do you know what happened? So Casagrada isn't evil, he's just a coward. Fantastic.
Verano said the bandits were meeting some kind of contact. That's all I know.
A contact among my rangers?
I was right. There is a murderer.
Luring my rangers into an attack by bandits who are planning to meet a contact? Masoni, this isn't just an attempted murder. It's a conspiracy. One of my rangers is a traitor to our purpose, and my guess is that this meeting is most likely with the murderer we've been looking for.
Casagrada had a cousin, Felice. They were both farm kids, like most of us in the Rangers.
Ranger work pays better than being a farmhand, and we eat better too.
Felice was a good kid, but they weren't much of a fighter. Verano and them went after a bear with the plague. It was troubling the pilgrims at Nakutedek. The bear got Felice, tore their jaw clean off. There wasn't anything Verano could have done for them. Out here, things go bad fast. Six of one, half a dozen of the other, if you ask me.
You're not wrong, Masoni. A personal grudge could be the spark that lights a fire. But I cannot punish any of my rangers without evidence. I need to know what's really going on here. We're missing some pieces here, namely what happened to Monato. Until you find his body, we're groping about in the dark. Speak to Dorso if you haven't yet. I'll be here organizing patrols until you return. She's stationed near the gates of Fjord.
Get the beacon dry. Fresh wood and tinder. May need you. That tower is here. The mountains, the city, and the sea. You'll defend it with your life. Yeah, I pretty much brought that plague.
Oh, envoy! You have to help me. If I have to listen to this twig of a recruit tell his stories for even one more minute, I'll probably die. Wonderful! Even a few seconds of talking to someone more interesting is like a breath of fresh air. It's great to meet you. Ranger Iziana Dorso at your service. Aedyr really stooped to asking for help. How very unlike her. Frankly, I think she's overreacting to a late report. Monato might be our best tracker, but he doesn't put a lot of stock in patrol rotation, rest days, or Aedyr's toothless protocols. I hope Verano's all right. The wilds can be cruel. Oh, that boy! Sure, he can fight, but does he think? Leave him to his farm and family, I told Aedyr, but does she ever listen to me? The way this valley chews through rangers, we can't be selective. That's what she says anyway. Casagrada is a farmer's son. His father too is a farmer's son, and so was his grandfather. The same is true for nearly all of our rangers. They were raised with plows in hands, not swords.
You fight with the soldiers you've got, as the saying goes.
And we take these green farmhands, give them 5 minutes of weapons training, and tell them to stand against the tide? But that's neither here nor there. We were talking about Verano. He and Monato are the best of us, but no one's without their challenges. Verano's always trying to play both sides, be the peacemaker. It makes him soft. And Monato, you won't find him if he doesn't want to be found. He was a good friend once, I admired him. But he changed. Monato was always a loner, but he'd been going off his patrol route for long periods of time. The last thing I heard was that Monato was going to scout out the ogre camp. I'm not Monato's keeper. He's a grown man and can take care of himself. It was claimed by an old animancer years ago. He and the ogre are, friends. I have no idea what they got up to in there. Experimenting on Zareps, probably. I couldn't tell you what's there now. I don't know anyone who could. The animancer struck a deal with Aedyr. We're not allowed to go there. Why Monato was headed there is beyond me. But if you want to track down Monato, that would be the first place to look. From here, cross the northern bridge and follow the path west. The path will become a cobblestone road and pass through the swamp. You'll find a cave in the hillside. Should pick up Monato's trail around there. Right. Watch your back out there, envoy. The Living Lands are a dangerous place.
Hopefully when we find Monato, we can find some answers. This is one of the Living Land's main export hubs. Or,
I don't
it
think
used to be.
I didn't do anything wrong. You're probably using me as an example. Pick on the new kid, you know? I'll be back out there in no time. You watch. You're that envoy, aren't you? It's the face. Gives you away. What can the Fjord Ranger's Rising Star do for you, Your Eminence? Oh, you found him. I was so worried. Wait. You think I'm the killer, don't you? Listen to me. I didn't do anything wrong. Verano going missing isn't my fault. Verano is a veteran, and they say he's the best in the squad. But to be fair, they haven't seen my blade in combat yet. We were scouting out the abandoned homestead near Nakotedek when the bandits attacked us. I drew 2 of them away from the fight, and Verano and I got separated. When I doubled back around to check on him, I didn't see anyone. I assumed the fighting was over. Oh, you already talked to the old man. Listen, let's keep this between us. I have a reputation to maintain around here.
Right, because we wouldn't want the other rangers to think poorly of you.
2 bandits attacked us, and Verano stepped up to fight them. I drew my blade, and I froze. I saw more bandits coming, and Verano was getting overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. You're right. I know that now. Maybe if I'd had more training? I've never been in a fight before. Not a real fight with people actually trying to kill me.
You froze. It happens, kid. Combat instincts take practice. The real disgrace is tucking your tail in town instead of getting help and going back.
I know what I did was wrong, but I'm not a murderer. I swear. I swear! I don't... He's a better man than I am. But thanks for that. It means a lot. And I hope you find them, Envoy. I'd love to give them a gauntlet to the face.
This kid's got too much to prove and too little to show for it, but he doesn't seem like a traitor.
Art and birds and pretty things.
Coming in hot.
Sick! Unseek!
Quick advice, try not to breathe in here.
Not hitting hard enough. What am I hitting? What's the target? Not bad, Marius.
Unseek!
was fun.
They wouldn't have put it all the way out here if it wasn't something good.
Envoy? What are you... Huh. You're full of surprises. I was expecting someone else, but I think this could work out better for both of us. Not yet. Not unless you go back to Asierno and tell her everything. Once you hear my side, Envoy, I think you'll agree I was only trying to help. Unfortunately. I didn't want to, but he forced my hand. I thought I was clever, skimming a little extra pay from the coffers, surveying the city's weaknesses, laying caches for my friends. But it was like Monato had eyes in the back of his head. Nothing got by him. I tried to explain, but he couldn't understand. Wouldn't. He'd completely closed his ears to reason.
So you killed him for it?
Poor bastard was always too principled for his own good. After a fashion.
Unbelievable.
They were a means to an end. Don't tell them that. Everyone likes to feel special. They were supposed to kill Verano, but... I guess they figured they could get more coin if they ran something back to us instead. Idiots. I'm preparing Emerald Stair for Aedyr's arrival, obviously. Your people have already pacified Paradise, with contracts and clean water, with promises of safety. I want to be safe. I want all of us to finally be safe.
You've got a hazy picture at best, Dorso. The envoy was still killed in the street, and Ludwine's idea of pacified is anything but.
And I know what empires do, Envoy. They expand. Your soldiers would have come here sooner or later. I'm helping us avoid resistance and bloodshed when they do. Fiori's wasting away, Envoy. Animancy isn't helping us anymore, if it ever did. But no one in the city wants to admit it.
So you murder your own?
Our crops rot in the fields, bears turn to beasts and attack on sight. The very earth disintegrates beneath our feet. I think it's time we accept help from someone stronger, wealthier, better organized. From Aedyr. Then we can turn things around like Paradis has. Maybe then we can be safe. But Vidarro, Quilici, Captain Asierno, they're too proud. They won't do what must be done. So I'm doing it myself. I'm not an official asset, just an enthusiastic ally. But I did meet the captain of the Steel Garrote. Alfir, she said her name was. They appeared out of the fog a few nights ago, late, hours before dawn. There were so many of them, I was certain they were going to kill me. I was alarmed at first, but then I spoke to Alfir, and she changed my mind. Captain Alfir is strong, determined, organized. She's exactly what we need to save Fjord. She has a vision for how to save the valley from itself, a vision I can believe in. I found them a place to hole up. No one is going to find them until it's time. If they didn't tell you, they must have had a good reason. The steel garrote are holed up in a cave, just behind that waterfall over there. Some of them, anyway.
We should look into that.
I'm sure they'd appreciate your help. They're going to put a stop to the animancy. The animancy that's sickening our fields, driving the animals mad, polluting our souls. And maybe it will end the Dream Scourge. Then, Emerald Stair will be safe. I don't. That's exactly it. We can't know unless we stop all of it and see. Once Captain Alfir explains to the Animancers what their work is doing to our people, they'll have to give it up. Fjord simply cannot survive the way things are. Monato and Verano disagreed.
Then you disagree. You don't turn on your own.
Their voices had power in the Rangers. Too much power. And when they spoke, the others listened. Now they'll have to listen to me. I don't live in Aedyr. I don't want to. Emerald Stair is my home, and it's wasting away. I can only look after my people, get us what we need.
You've got a strange way of doing that.
Only Aedyr can help us now. Maybe that would be for the best. We've had decades to secure this valley. What do we have to show for it? Dead homesteads, dead farmers, dead fields. And a city full of animancers who don't give a single shit about us. It wasn't always like this. I wish you could have seen the valley I grew up in. The steep green hills, mist twining about the peaks. Birds, deer, the many little creatures of the trees scurrying among the leaves. Most of them gone now. Sometimes, in high summer, the sunset would catch the rice paddies just right, and the whole valley would glow coral violet. A world on fire with life that never burned. We ate well and slept through the night. I don't want to live through this time if there's nothing better on the other side.
About time. Let's go! Need a better weapon!
Unseek!
Weak here. Another down. Just like the good old days.
Like this. Stay alert.
This must be the Steel Garrote camp Dorso mentioned. Be
Inquisitor
careful.
Ludwig is taking her time. I think she wants to see how the envoy performs. I understand they have some prior history.
Ah, then forgive my impatience, brother.
No need. Eagerness is a virtue, not a vice.
Well, if it isn't the Aedyr Envoy.
We weren't expecting reinforcements. Either you've come early, or more likely, you shouldn't be here.
I don't like their tone. Careful, envoy. I don't think your rank will help you here.
Tell you what, turn around, and Inquisitor Ludwig doesn't have to hear about this unfortunate little mix-up.
You must think we were born yesterday. Still, that was a good attempt. What if we gave you an incentive to turn a blind eye to this little operation of ours?
An excellent idea, sister. Copper or iron? The choice is yours. Very astute. Inquisitor Ludwig told us to kill anyone who happens to find this place.
And she means anyone.
I'd rather not kill an Aedyr official over an honest error, so take the money and look the other way. What a pity. Normally I'd think twice about spilling godlike blood, but for you I'll make an exception.
Don't! Well done!
Right. We really just kicked the saltfly's nest. I guess we're in this now.
Envoy, when we first met, I thought I was gonna keep you out of trouble.
Let's get some!
To pack into a cave, I'd have been very wrong.
This was just a regular outpost. Nope. This is a war camp.
Not gonna cut it!
Quiet as the devil.
I think I sprained my shoulder.
Sick! The envoy! Come and get it's the envoy! The armor won't hold up!
didn't know all this was here.
They've...
What was that? Stop right there!
Here we go! Show me what you got!
Haven't had a battle like that in years. Though I didn't feel this many aches and pains in my soldiering days.
Can't say I'm sad to see these people strewn about. I don't know what we stopped, but we clearly stopped something.
Yeah. Reminds me of what Rawatai built up when we went into Deadfire.
Sounds about right. Hey, is it too late to go back to Paradise? These guys really seem to want everyone dead. I guess we should look around while we're here. I wouldn't mind figuring out what they were up to.
You know, that's a smart idea. This is why I was always in the trenches rather than the strategy tent.
Looking around, feels like we broke up something big. Well done, us.
Not bad for a day's work. I think we've all earned a couple ales back at camp.
There's a lot of stuff here they won't be using anymore. Might as well take some of it with us.
Maybe they've got some ale.
They were planning on burning down Fior. How could they do something like that?
I sincerely hope you have some good news for me. My gods, I can't believe this.
Ilia's wings uplift us.
She's been with the Ranger since she was a girl. She trained most of my men.
This is... Fotito. This is big, Asierno.
What happened to her? Where is she now? Without the trial? Good gods.
Frontier justice. That's what a traitor deserves.
Masoni, please. Where's her body now, envoy?
I'll send a few of the senior rangers out to find her.
Thank you, Maso. What a nightmare. I don't know what I'm going to tell my men. A traitor in the Rangers. This situation beggars belief. Do you know why she did it?
Be serious, envoy.
She was always talking about how we needed strength. Do you remember, Maso? More swords, more coin. And she complained that animancy wouldn't fix our problems. But I didn't think she had so little faith in Fior.
No one took her seriously.
Evidently, she was quite serious about it. I didn't want to believe it could be her. Gods beyond, what a mess. Thank you, envoy. Ranger Monato has been properly avenged, and now I have a lot of work to do to rebuild my squad. Agreed. I need to be more careful with who I trust in the future. Here's your reward. It's the least we can do for your assistance. Thank you again. Step carefully out there. We are living through strange times.
I hope this at least lets them clean up their ranks.
How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me.
But unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Ah, of course. The Aedyr envoy. Ambassador Hilgard sent a missive telling me to expect you. How delightful. You speak with a measure of authority, but I caution you to remember who's in charge around here.
Now that's what I call a first impression. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. You must be unfamiliar with animancy. There's always collateral damage. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement. All of the above. I have a lot of forgetting to do. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Chiata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Chiata is an outcast.
It's a bit too soon to tell.
Governor, this is unacceptable. Your father would have kept this community together at any cost.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
I'll find us another bedroom.
As I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint. My apologies, godlike. You happened upon Fiora at an inopportune time.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giata's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Aedyr envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. We haven't even gotten started and we're already talking about ethics. I can tell I'm going to like you. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Anamancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Misiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be all right. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Don't worry. Ignacy can't banish us all. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. No one ever achieved the impossible without being a little unhinged. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Envoy? Well, that was interesting, right? The woman arguing about the crops failing? Standing up for what you believe against authority. I can respect that. Of course, my method would have been run away under the cover of night, never to return, but yeah, this works for her. I don't know. In my experience, it's always the snake you don't see that bites you. Anyway, there's clearly more going on here than a bunch of animancers sitting in dusty labs doing whatever they do all day. Beyond that, nah, I can't help you. Call me when you're back to facing real danger. Right, changing the subject. Ask away. Careful in the western areas of Emerald Stair. Something lives out there, and I don't really care to know what. Right, changing the subject. If I must.
I hope you weren't looking to rekindle things with Ludwig. Not after the send-off you gave the Steel Garrote squad waiting in that cave. I've got a feeling you've spared a lot of people more grief than they'll ever know. Normally, I'm not big on turning on your own, but the Steel Garrote take their beliefs too far. I'm glad you didn't let them do it here. You could have fooled me. Ludwig talks to Hilgard like a wayward cabin boy. I wonder if he's got the backbone to withstand her. Well, not you, though. You didn't hesitate. Your kind of clarity is rare. To know in the moment what you've got to do and do it. I envy that.
Kai's always doing things to help others, no matter the cost. It's going to get him killed one day.
You two are gonna make me blush, and purple's not my best color. But, thanks. Just be on the lookout. The Steel Garrote isn't likely to forgive and forget. Not a whole lot, and I've been happy keeping it that way. Playing around with essence, poking at souls, trying to move them out of and into places they shouldn't be, it makes me queasy. Though, if we're going to understand the Dream Scourge and your godlike lineage, I suppose we'll have to get comfortable with it. Still, I'm happy to leave those pursuits to other people.
Exactly. Other people. People who are a safe distance away.
True, but at what cost? There's a reason Animancy's failures are more famous than its successes. For every maniac it's cured, it's created dozens of corpses, or worse. I've just always felt more comfortable with things I can see and grasp for myself. Yeah, and that's the part I like to leave to people with your predisposition. It's been years. It was always green and overgrown, but I don't remember it being quite this. You remember the first plants we met here tried to kill us, right? Something about Emerald Stair has always been unsettling. Everything in the living lands grows wild, but it's different here. Those giant roots, whatever they are, I don't remember them being quite as big or close to the settlement. Well, there's a thought to keep me up at night.
Oh, the Living Lands definitely hates us. That's why people like me even get work.
I don't like reading that much into things. Maybe that's why I'm still a bachelor.
Is that what it is? That wasn't even on my list.
Either way, when I wake up with night terrors, I'm waking you both up with me. Night, envoy.
The Aedyr stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field. The bars stifle us. We cannot recall when last we spoke. Hollow faces in a line. What has come of this place? A hand of generosity, or a gauntlet of steel. We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth. They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals? unfamiliar name. A harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve? Set what has been broken, soothe the pain. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make? Punished, cast out. We understand. We peer through the murky water in vain. What is the truth? Fire that burns the forest feeds the soil with its ash. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.
I still can't believe it. Dorso was betraying her brothers-in-arms, all in the name of saving Emerald Stair. At least she got what was coming to her. She did. I think that's the part that haunts me worse than what she did. How do you keep yourself on the right path, especially when there's so much at stake? I was afraid you'd say something like that. Just please, be careful. I saw this in Rauatai's campaign in the Deadfire. You start out with purpose. You're fighting alongside your brothers and sisters, battling pirates and slavers, bringing civilization to a lawless, divided land. But then, you're breaking up villages, turning tribes against their rivals. It gets messy, fast. Easier said than done. Empires are hungry, Envoy, and they devour their own too. Don't let your allegiances turn you into something you can't live with. Should I break out the booze? You know where to find me. You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valian republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giada didn't draw blood. I wish I could say the same. Living Landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth. You make the wild sound downright peaceful by comparison. I'm impressed at anyone who can survive that, or break out of it, like Giada. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Can we just talk about something else?
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giada's situation.
Right. Like, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this can't be an easy time for Giada, but I'm glad to have her on our side. What's on your mind? Nudge me if you hear anything in the woods.
Nothing like a win with a good team.
A godlike in Emerald's den. Well, well, maybe our luck's improving. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Sorry, I've been on my own for a while, and I forget how unusual this looks. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
We can smell it, too.
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor, but of course nothing is ever that simple. They get 3 meals a day and a comfortable home. What more could they ask for?
I've certainly dealt with worse.
Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Aha! So the blight got into my revenant and interfered with her raising. That confirms one of my theories. Not only is the Dream Scourge affecting our farms, it's disrupting animancy, unraveling our work. Sounds like I have more research ahead of me, but at least now I have a sense of direction. Thank you for getting your hands dirty on my behalf, godlike. You're a natural. Not really. But that's all right. You and I have something in common. We're animancers. Hooking up equipment and seeing what happens is what we do. You see, the living lands is rich with essence, the energy of souls. We channel this energy into our fields, and that's why Emerald's there is the breadbasket of the living lands.
There's something poetic about the idea of plants eating souls to survive. Creepy, but poetic.
But as you can see, we've been dealing with some irregularities. Thank you. We've been at it for a while now, but there is still so much to learn. Traditional farms depend on water, sunlight, and the mercy of insects. What you see here is no different. Animancy can change the world, but it's an uphill climb. People don't trust what they don't understand. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor! I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Thank you. It helps that he's already dead. Silvo is one of my revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put a poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Silvo is on a strict diet, but I suppose he could have gotten into the crops when my back was turned. You never know with these rascals. Whether you're raising cows or corpses, every farmer lives with death. Outsiders and travelers down on their luck, You'd be surprised how many people want to sell their bodies to animancy.
Say what you will about mercenary and military life. At least your obligations end at death.
Anyone else see a downside to giving monetary value to corpses?
This is a good forever home for the undead. Better than some crypt, anyway. But sometimes we have bad days. Really? Oh, I've always wanted a godlike for the stables. Deal! You've made me a very happy animancer.
Make sure she doesn't try to collect till after your death.
I'm not dragging your corpse back here from some ancient ruin, I'll tell you that.
Once you've dealt with Silvo, we can finalize the arrangements. That should cover everything. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets.
That it?
Envoy, a pleasure as always. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. I'll be fine. I've lost so many revenants over the years, and I'm always such a wreck afterward. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. It's possible, but we don't share research if we can avoid it. That's one of the reasons I moved out here. The other reason being my corpses. They don't enjoy living behind walls, if you can call it living. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Seems a little far-fetched. Then again, what isn't these days? You're a godlike, so anything is possible. Perhaps your nature will grant you more answers. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock. Ah, before I forget, here's a down payment on your body. And here's your collar. Try not to lose it. And I've always wanted a godlike to show up at the Harvest Festival. You're going to love it here. Hopefully not for a while, though.
Great. Now I have to add to my list of idiotic ideas.
Let's hope we steer clear of assassins for the time being.
The great mystery is... Yvette, look what I found! A genuine godlike.
Oh my gods, Remy, it's finally happening.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giada needs to finish her research. Deal?
The information wouldn't be worth anything if we just gave it to her freely, now would it? Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go around the wheel, you might not get so lucky. Ooh, good answer.
My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
There's no cure for the Dream Scourge, much in the way that there's no cure for an avalanche.
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Aedyr would be a good place to start.
That wouldn't surprise me. Both are natural occurrences, after all. Terrible, but quite natural.
Most natural things are. Terrible, that is.
An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell. Did you hear that
Hurry,
Giada was
before they
sent
change their
into
minds.
exile?
Ugh, I might have
Wonder if she needs a new
dozed off
research
there for a bit.
Or
Were any of
maybe
those
a
words
test
the ones we
subject?
needed?
We could do both. Anything worth great Giada Castel.
Ado, welcome to my establishment.
Confounded machine. Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Well, maybe to you, but I was educated in the great laboratories of Spirento, in the halls of experimentation. But you didn't journey all this way to hear me reminisce about the old country. More than most, but less than I would like. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Yes, her theory of the dream scourge, I'm quite familiar. What I need is a stronger power source. Copper allows greater power modulation through shaping, but Adra has the potential to store more essence. I could use a large single block of Adra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgon queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgon in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgon queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Adragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out. Part of me loves seeing nature reclaim these ruins. Another part thinks nature needs to calm itself.
Here we go! Coming from your right! Turn around!
quiet as the depths.
Here we go! Come and get me.
You may approach me, godlike. Ah, a welcome visitor. It has been so long since one of your kind has walked in this grove. For all time. But why have you come here? A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. Take it, and go in peace.
I can't believe you pulled that off. Now, let's get out of here before she notices my wood pistol grip.
You've returned. There is no need to be.
Think the Delimgon did all that? Or maybe the land itself?
Ado, welcome to my established place. Aedyr, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. Nature is as stubborn as ever, I see. Fair enough. Here's payment for your troubles. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
A spark ignites a flame. An idea ignites a war.
Hello? You still with me? Good. We're getting somewhere. Hey, let's go over your results. Your soul has a fascinating internal structure. Perfectly balanced. An artist couldn't have made it better. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. Not to besmirch a colleague, but Watchers aren't the most reliable sources. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. Nothing harmful, at least not yet. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land, diverted, like the flow of a river. Exactly. And if I know essence, it can't have gone too far. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
I'll be honest. He lost me when he started talking about souls. What did I miss?
Something the matter? I hope none of my colleagues scared you off. I hate to admit it, but I saw that one coming. Those two don't get out much. When Ignacy took away their research funding, I pulled some strings to get it back. He told me I was a fool, but they'll prove him wrong someday. I have faith. I hope you had an enlightening visit at the corpse farm. Elia is one of my favorite neighbors, second only to Quilici. When her best farmhand got stuck up a tree, I got him down in one piece. Well, several pieces. I've always looked up to her. And you got his machine up and running. That's what I call progress. I helped Monto after his wife died. She was brilliant, and he took the loss hard. I'm going to miss him. Sounds like you've met with everyone. We're ready to get started. I have to ask, why are you wearing a Revenant collar? Good for you. Hopefully she offered a fair price. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? That's the fun part of metaphysics. Everything is strange, but nothing is new. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. Under the circumstances, the two are not so different. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Aedyr pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Animancy takes a lot of preparation. You might only have one chance to run through an experiment. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Think of it as a spiritual tuning fork, or a dowsing rod. It has many functions, some more obvious than others. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. Right now, I would rather focus on the work ahead of us. The door to the basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.
If that's where her parents died, I'm glad we can spare her from having to go back.
Okay, walking into the basement of an animancer I just met. Right, feels great.
Something's not right here. Stay ready.
Haven. And from the blight, who grows here?
One moment. I feel pretty certain that those people aren't supposed to be plants.
What a horrific fate.
Beauty reborn. A life of peace.
Gods. We can leave now, right?
Poor Giada. To think she's been living with this right under her nose.
I don't... Anyone know what happened back there?
I think those were Giada's parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're... dead?
Or something like that.
Gods, I can't believe this.
You're back. You found it. You actually found my inheritance. Did you see my mother and father? Are they still there? I didn't have the words. All that's really down there is an unhappy memory. One that keeps on growing. Quilici thought so too. Even Ignacy offered to lend a hand. But I forbade it. My mother had an idea about how to use the essence of the living lands, and it destroyed her. My father. Our family.
People are too quick to risk everything for an ideal. I'm sorry it didn't work out for your family.
So I swore an oath. No one could enter the lab until I understood what happened. No. The mystery is my burden, and mine alone. I won't let it harm anyone outside of the family. Enough about me. Let's worry about you for a change. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. The only thing we're missing now is an Aedyr pillar, and I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Eora. There should be some equipment waiting for us. That rugged thing? It's as dry as a bone. Hardly any essence left. Even if it wasn't, I'm not exactly welcome in the workshop these days. We used it to study the Aedyr pillar. Then some priests moved in and took offense at our work. I hope they haven't tampered with the equipment, or this will be a very short experiment. Naku Tedek is special. I used to play there as a child and take rubbings of the memorial plaques. Historians think it may have once been a burial ground, a place where souls can return to the earth. So, we kept the tradition alive. Many of our founders are buried there, though not all of them, as you discovered. Well, that covers everything. Let's go. The Dream Scourge can't hide for long. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Eora. No telling how long we'll be gone. I almost forgot. Someone gave me a letter for you. They said it was for the envoy's eyes alone. I may have glanced at the handwriting. Don't worry, your secrets are safe. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety.
Sounds good. I need to do some hunting anyway.
Once we're all together, we should trade ghost stories. Best way to get acquainted. In the meantime, let's be off.